Greetings LEGO fans! For this week's release, I'm excited to be building for you the Bugatti Chiron. This is kit number 42083 and has a whopping 3,599 pieces. So this is the largest Technix kit I've done for this channel and will be the longest build I've done for this channel. I'm estimating somewhere possibly up to 10 hours straight, so that could be quite intensive. But when we're all done, we should have a pretty impressive kit, not only in the smooth and interesting curves of this really fantastic kit, but also the mechanical features that, Technix kits are known for. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. So let's get this thing unboxed so we can start to build. the Bugatti Chiron. With its 8-liter, quad-turbocharged, 1500 horsepower engine, it's not surprising that this is one of the fastest, if not actually the fastest, production car in the world. While the Lego version won't take you from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, it's still one of the sleekest Technix kits I've seen out there, and comes with a host of mechanical features that are definitely worthy of a supercar of this caliber. This car is both sleek and badass from bumper to bumper, and there are a lot of design elements that are uniquely Chiron. So, going bumper to bumper, let's have a closer look. The intimidating front end of this car has this prominent central grille, extending all the way out to the side, where they finish up beneath the unique quad square headlights. Coming on up to the hood, there's a small compartment you can open here, but this isn't where the engine is, because that's of course in the back. Instead we have a tiny little trunk, because supercars are not known for their luggage capacity. Coming on around to the side, the two-tone paint job and the sleek curves that separate the two become quite apparent and are really striking. But for me, the most impressive thing to talk about on the side are the wheels, because there's actually quite a bit going on in here. First up, each wheel is set up with a dual set of suspension springs, so as you can see in the back here, it's really quite springy. Unfortunately, I found that the front end, being a little bit heavier, isn't quite as springy. If you lift it up, it does come up all the way, but if you just press it down, you can see that the spring doesn't quite return as far as it does in the back. Ultimately, this isn't a big deal, but I do find it to be a slight oversight for this kit. And then finally, and actually quite impressively, the disc caliper, branded with the Bugatti name on it here, actually stays in place as the wheel rotates. You can see the wheel and the disc brake behind it spinning, while the caliper stays motionless in place, which is something I wasn't expecting, and I was definitely impressed when I realized what I'd built. Coming around to the back end of the car, I find the rear end to be no less intimidating than the front. With its wide and impressive stance, even from behind, this car looks like one that you don't want to mess with. With this sleek red taillight that spans from side to side, the Chiron logo just beneath that, and the twin exhausts, which in my imagination I'm sure can be made to spit fire. I have no doubt that if I ever came up on the back of one of these cars, it wouldn't be long before this thing took off and it would be completely out of sight. Now opening up the door, we can have a closer look at the interior, where the first thing we find is a very plush seat with some very high sides to it, which I have no doubt must be required, because at the high speeds that this car would be banking through turns, if you didn't have them, you'd be sliding side to side in your seat all the time. Flipping the view around, we find the driver has 3 little gauges on his dashboard, and the steering wheel, which, not surprisingly, is fully functional. And just beneath that, for a little extra fun, we have a simulated paddle shifter to get you through that 7-speed transmission. And while the paddle shifter might be for only simulated shifting, there is actually a functional 2-speed transmission built in, which is linked to the all-wheel drive system that is equipped with functional front and rear differentials, which is all linked up to the massive 16-cylinder engine, which you can see here having all the pistons moving in and out as they would in the real one. And as I said, this is a 2-speed transmission, so as you shift from high to low, the speed at which these cylinders pop in and out will change. Put that all together, and that is one massively complex and hugely impressive system. I was simply amazed at the complexity of some of these mechanisms as I put them together, and I had no idea what they were actually going to do, and I am just hugely impressed. And for the last but not least feature, you'll need this little key, which if you flip it open and insert it into the back of the car, you can use it to extend or retract this awesome little spoiler. And finally, we get this little Chiron handbag. I'm not really sure why, but here it is, and very shortly, it'll be my parts bin. I think it's really quite clear that I'm most definitely impressed with this kit. A little too large to really properly play with it, but that's quite alright because this was definitely made for display. And not just the kind of display where you leave it on your shelf and look at it from time to time, kind of display where when someone comes over, you can really enjoy showing them all the cool features of this kit. So a lot of points earned, definitely top marks as a display piece. It really can't get much better than this. If you've already got a car collection going, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You have to get this one. It's just epic. Or if you just love Lego cars, this one is fantastic. And even if you just want to have it just for the sake of building it, when you're all done, the number of Technix parts that you have left over is amazing. So if you are one of these people that can actually take this one apart, which I don't think I'm going to be able to, you are going to have a lot of material to work with. So any which way you look at it, despite the high price tag, it's hard not to look at this kit as a great value. And that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly enjoyed presenting it to you. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here next week for the next one. Until then, have a good one.